Okay, everyone, we have Christina Garcia-Carreras here in beautiful Cummings, Georgia, right north of Atlanta. And she's a PT, physical therapist. She's had the Firefly since August, so she's relatively new, but she has just a wonderful case study to present us today. So do you want to tell us a little bit about Christina?
Yeah. So I had one of my first few clients who came in had been struggling with a skin condition, and they actually didn't even know what it was. But they just know that after using steroid eye drops, they used the eye drops for 3 weeks after a cataract surgery, that after stopping for 1 week, their skin started breaking out in a rash. And they then, looked it up, and I guess it was a side effect of the eye drops. And this person was very healthy in general and kind of skeptical about doctors. And so she didn't want to go to a dermatologist because it was a side effect from the eye drops. So she wanted the eye doctor to fix it, but the eye doctor didn't know what to do. So she just kind of been silently suffering for 2 months. And when she found out that I had the Firefly, she's actually a good friend. She was like, you know what? I'm just gonna come and try it out because maybe I have some friends that can also benefit. So I didn't even know what her condition was, and when she walked in, I was very shocked because her whole face was swollen. I mean, she was almost very much unrecognizable. Like, this is a beautiful lady who's always vibrant and very well put together, and here she was, just sad and swollen and blisters all over her face. And I was like, why didn't you tell me about this earlier? But she was excited to see what the Firefly could do. So after looking online, I knew that red light therapy could be used for skin, and the blue light too. But I also saw some side effects saying, it might increase the swelling, and because it increases blood flow and make the redness more irritated. And so I said, we're not going to do this on your face right now. Like, we're just going to treat your gut, and because your skin is a reflection of your gut, and then we'll see how that responds. And so when I scanned her, she definitely had the parasites in there and other viruses and some bacteria in there too. And so I just went with the scan, and we did a basic Firefly treatment. We did do 10 minutes on her gut. And then I just talked to her about what she was washing her face with, what she was putting on her face, to just her own home remedies, and suggested that she stop everything and just use warm water, and to clean with, and not even, she had been using some essential oils, and I said, don't even use those right now, like just warm water, because we want to really know what you're putting on and what's irritating your skin. And so then the next time she came in, so that was on Monday. And then I said, come back in 2 days if you can. So she came back in on Wednesday, and already her skin was looking better. And I was like, that's amazing. And she was like, well, it's still red. And I said, no, it looks different. It looks like it's healing red versus irritating red. And so we just used the scan, that was already in place, did the lights over her gut. And then I talked to her a little bit more about what she was eating, and looked at, what kind of inflammatory foods, and she eats relatively healthy, all organic and everything. But she did say she had ice cream every day, organic ice cream. I said, well, stop the ice cream, no dairy right now. And so she was kind of sad about that, but she did that. And the next time her skin looked even better. And so she came for, let's see it, like 5 times before, like, her skin, her face, but before she came back with her jewelry on, and her smile was just
Mhm.
so bright. And when she walked in the door that time, I said, there is the woman I know. Like, you're back, and she's 80. She's 80. And here she was, very active in the community. But when this happened, she was basically homebound because she didn't want people to ask her what was going on with her face. And she didn't want people to tell her, well, go to this doctor or go do this. And, all this, that she was like, who are you telling me this? So we were able not only to, like, restore her face, but also give her life back, which is really exciting.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So, about how many sessions did you do?
Yeah. So about 5 sessions before that time, so with this, she ended up, um, I have a good friend who suffered through the topical steroid withdrawal. And so when she came in initially, when this woman came in initially, I recognized it as, like, you know what? This isn't eczema, for sure not. Like, it was her whole face. And I was like, this sounds like the topical steroid withdrawal, even though it was eye drops. Most of them, majority of them, are from having eczema and then giving a steroid cream, using the steroid cream, and then their body, feeling better with that cream. And then when they stop it, then their body responds and kind of flares up even more. And so it was weird to see it from eye drops, but my sister's a pediatrician and I'm inside her offices. And so I kind of co-treat her, ask her a lot. And so she was like, yeah, that definitely looks like the topical steroid withdrawal reaction. And so I asked one of my other friends who had suffered for 7 years, and I said, you know what, this looks like it. And she was like, oh my gosh, absolutely. So we had done about 5 sessions before her face was restored. And so 2 weeks basically. And then I noticed that she had, and on her first visit, she had like a little spot right here, kind of in between her 2 fingers. And over the next, like maybe 3, I guess the next week, it was a little bit bigger. So it was kind of like this big. And so I did do lights on that because I was like, well, that's not your face. Let's just see, and she's open to whatever. And so I did the lights on it, and it didn't look like it got any better. I was like, I don't really see a change there. So let's just keep to the stomach, remain focused on your face right now. Well, then I gave her like a week off. And when she came back, her hand had progressed more, like pretty quickly. And so we kept treating her gut mainly for her hands and arm. And then she started having a little spot on her ankle. So the success is like looking at her face and you're like, oh my gosh, your life is restored. You're able to go out again. But we're still doing this treatment to work on her gut, and just make sure everything's kind of out. So I think we've done a total of like 10 to 11 sessions. And I just recently gave her another week off just to kind of see how her body responded. And I saw her at church, and her arm, and we also talked about what she was washing her hands with, because hands touch a lot of things. Your face, it's a little easier to kind of keep away from anything else. So we were like, what soaps, don't wash your hands with any soaps when you go out, only warm water, which, may not be great, but it's like, whatever's in that soap, I don't want you to irritate yourself with. Don't put anything on. So she was putting different creams, different oils on her hands, just kind of being experimenting. And I said, just stop all that again. Whatever you did for your face, we're going to do for your hands. So while we were treating her gut, she was still kind of irritating her own skin. So the hands didn't have as quick as a success. But in this time off, I looked at her again on Sunday, and her hand is looking better. Like the skin is looking better. And so I think I might have her in next week, because I was like, let's just look again, give you another week off. So this would be 2 weeks off. So I might have her in next week and do another scan and see what comes up on the scan. And then, either continue a little bit more treatment, maybe do a couple sessions and see how her hands respond now that she's really making sure nothing's going on it, and see if we can clear that up even more.
Awesome. Wow. So I'd just like to show everybody, I did just do
Oh
a
yeah.
cursory mock-up here. I can get pictures.
Yeah, when
So
you see
this
the
was-
pictures,
This was the before and after.
Yeah.
About 10 sessions, you said. Yeah, just incredible.
No, so this one is only about 5 to 7 sessions.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
like more like 5, this one.
More like 5. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then her hands is the ones that, that's why even though her face looks great, we kept her coming because of her arms. And I have a
Sure.
couple ones of her arms that I'm taking pictures and documenting and seeing. But
And this is more of an epidemic. I mean, you're the one who really called my attention to this steroid withdrawal. I had no idea that it was that, and I think it's just so important that our Firefly practitioners, well, all practitioners, but just our Firefly practitioners, know about this and be able to recognize it. And
yes.
I mean, we always do treat do administer sessions on the gut, which would probably help in an eczema situation as well. But to be able to recognize and say, hey, what's going on, or at least ask the question, have you been taking these steroids, and are you going through this to lead to that conclusion, and at least know, be able to give a proper diagnosis of the condition.
Yeah. And so I'm on a Facebook group now that has, it's like a topical steroid withdrawal group. And some people have been suffering like 7+ years. And the dermatologist will just put them on a different steroid cream. And then they'll go back on a different steroid cream until they're finally like, I give up, this isn't working. So depending on how long they've been suffering, I'm curious, because this technology is so to the root that if we can help their gut, how quickly we can help them come back. Whereas right now, if they stop, they almost have that longer journey back because they've been, however long they've been using the topical steroid cream, their body has to, on its own, do that healing. Whereas with the Firefly, we can expedite that in significant ways. And so, yeah, and even have the conversation of, when you use the steroid cream, how does your skin feel? And when you stop, what happens? Because some of the dermatologists do not even know that this is an issue. Like they don't recognize it as such. So,
Absolutely right. And what's the quality of life, and are the
oh,
psychological effects from being
huge.
withdrawn? Yeah, and that's a whole nother
Huge.
topic. But thank you,
Yes.
Christina. We are so proud to have you as part of the Firefly family. And this is just the beginning. Just the
Thank
beginning.
you.
You're going to do great. I can just tell. Thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.